Alrighty, guys, thank you very much for joining me here. I am Jason, and we are hosting another Pro Division match here tonight. Brawls Deep versus USC, the undefeated champions here in Chair League, going to be going up against USC in the playoffs. I'm joined once again by Reaper of War, my good friend and teammate. Thank you very much for joining me, buddy.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure, Jane. I mean, you got the top seeded team, Brawls Deep. It's like they're undefeatable. They don't drop matches, and tonight it's going to be exciting. These guys are always fun to watch.
Yeah, USC is going to have something to say about that undefeated thing tonight, though, as they are going toe-to-toe with the gods of Chair League. We'll have to find out whether or not they can bleed here. But they're going to start by banning Muradin, one of the heroes that really don't seem to bleed anymore, especially after that latest patch. But the Ariel ban in return, so we might be seeing a little bit of foreshadowing here into sort of a new sort of meta after this balance patch. What do you think, Reaper?
You could be right. I mean, you got a couple characters who are buffed, a couple who are nerfed. I mean, the meta's still basically stayed the same, but I'm looking probably for globals on this map as well if they can pick them up.
Yeah, right away they go ahead and pick up ETC. That stage dive, of course, can end up being one of your greatest globals, but it's also an interesting drafting choice. When you have ETC, the opponent automatically has to draft around that. They have to figure in to the possibility of mosh pit and pick counters to it, even if you're planning on going stage dive the whole time.
And I mean, you already got the Muradin band out. One of the strongest tanks right now, if not the strongest tank, good on rotating, stun locking. So, it'll be interesting to see what they pick up for their front line.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of great choices left. You mentioned global, so Dahaka does come to mind, but ultimately he's not the strongest solo tank. Zarya seems to have dropped off a little bit. So they are going to go with Tyrael, a very, very strong pick and a possible mosh counter in that sanctification, along with Vala, who can also go rain. So we'll have to see.
And that Sank, like, if he can place it well and counter out the opposite team's abilities, very strong.
We see Tychus and Malfurion coming out here. The ultimate sustained damage dealer, especially against a possible two-tank comp here for the side of Brawls Deep. Also foreshadowing the fact that they may be wanting to go double tank, and Malfurion picked up. This is maybe the furthest I've seen Malfurion get through a draft in quite a while. I think maybe these two teams might be foreshadowing a little bit of a drop-off here by Malfurion.
His roots are still good, and he's still a great healer, but I mean, there should be a shift soon with all these drop-offs Malfurion's been getting lately.
Yeah, yet another hero, yet another support, I should say, that Blizzard has brought up to the top of the game and then slowly nerfed, like Rhaegar. But we're not gonna go into my own business, as Kerrigan is banned out here from the side of USC, and Brightwing is going to be the response ban. So Brawls Deep applying a nice healer chokehold as they've canceled out the global possibility with that Brightwing. Ariel had actually been banned by USC themselves, which I think was a kind of an odd ban by them, considering that they had picked up Vala. But right now it looks like there's not a whole lot of healers left on the table for USC to be able to pick up here. I also really like that comment in from Super Jova. I don't know how you can not piss your pants when you're versing Brawls Deep, and I would agree with that. I wouldn't want to face them.
Well, I mean, USC being the 14th seed, going 2-2 in the season. I'm not sure. I haven't watched much of their games, but they got some fierce competition tonight, that's for sure.
Well, to be fair, giant killer team here in USC. If they were 14th seed, this is their second round in. That means they did defeat the third seed last week, so they're used to toppling the Giants.
Yep, and anything can happen. It's one misplay, one wrong move, and that could be game for you.
So they are going to go ahead and go with Tassadar. Kind of means they're probably going to go with double support here, and that's a pretty good response, I think, for the side of USC. They go ahead and pick up Li Ming as well, so they've got a good solid backline damage dealer, and in that last spot they can choose to go with another support tailor-made to try and counter what Brawls Deep is going here. If you can't have Malfurion and you can't have Ariel and you don't have access to Brightwing, there's not a whole lot else in the game that can really work as a solo healer, so they're going to elect to go with 2. I really like it.
And I mean, soaking up that minigun damage from Tychus there, very smart play on their part.
So right away, you see that USC is pretty adept at drafting at the very least, and I think that it's going to be interesting to see what Brawls Deep wants to pick up here. The meat and potatoes of their team still incoming. You would expect another frontliner. Thrall, Sonya still on the table. Alarak still on the table, who's been very popular, particularly at the top of the game, and there he is. He'll go ahead and come on out, representing the Tal'Darim in this match. It is going to be Brawls Deep picking him up. So what's this last one, Reaper? What do you think they're looking for here? Falstad's still on the table.
And it's weird Falstad's made it this far with his gust, his disengage, his engagements. It's kind of odd to see him not picked up, but they know what they want. They know how they play, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I think Falstad is probably the right answer here, but they could be going for a couple of different burst damage dealers. And oh, you haven't, you didn't get the draft link. I apologize. Let me go ahead and send that to you. There you go. Oh no, that's the wrong link. I see what I did.
you sent me your Twitch link.
Yeah, well, you're seeing the draft, sort of, but it's just a little bit behind.
I'm seeing the draft. It's a little bit slower, and I'm just trying to wing it and hoping I'm going to
There you go, buddy. I got you covered. Abathur is going to be the pickup here for the side of Brawls Deep. A big map. Abathur does get a lot of value in the split soak potential, especially when you're fighting on these different altars, and they know that there's not any global presence over on the side of USC, and the only global presence hero that really makes sense is Falstad. And while Bird does love to eat worm, and Falstad is a great counter to Abathur, that would mean they'd be going solo support Tassadar. So Brawls Deep has kind of put USC in a bit of an awkward corner here.
Well, they also do chance solo tanking Tyrael with not much CC, but with the backup from Uther, that is definitely going to help at the front line.
Yeah, and that Uther pickup is going to be really cool. I think that we're probably going to see Sanctification and Divine Storm here, which, or I should say Divine Shield. Probably not Divine Storm. But it's going to really enable the damage dealers from the side of USC to be able to get in deep and try and do some work. I think that would be going on Vala, but could you imagine a world where we see Li Ming in here with the Calamity build and that extra invulnerability here, Reaper? It could be devastating.
And I mean, you got to be kind of scared for USC early game. I mean, you don't have the task walls. What do you have? You have the Uther stun. Tyrael, not much for zoning until later game. But it's going to be interesting for them.
Nice to see Crunk Juice flipping the table as he announced where we're casting. That's a very special moment for me with the table flip. But yeah, I think you're totally right. I think that we're gonna have to. One thing we're also gonna have to see here is again, I'm really worried about the split push pressure. Brawls Deep is a very good team. They're very good at coordinating and getting their whole act together in terms of team fighting. And I could see them being able to really compete with USC 4v5 through a lot of this with the CC potential that they have between ETC, Malfurion, and Alarak. I think the rotations could be very strong from the side of Brawls Deep to be able to get some good ganks. Tychus also pretty good at that rotational ganking game. And I think it could allow Abathur quite a lot of opportunity to split soak, to side soak, and get a lot of value here.
And we're probably gonna see Brawls Deep looking for the trade early game. But if I was USC, I'd be pressuring them hard, knowing that they've got a stronger team fight till Brawls Deep hits level 10. But then in question, does Abathur choose to go push build, which I highly doubt it. He'll probably look for that extra member for the team fight. But
yeah, that's got to be an ultimate evolution to go in on Alarak. Double Alarak silence can be very, very scary. While I do respect Alarak's ultimates, I think most of the power that's in his kit is actually in his basic abilities.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind about that with the pulls, the silences, Malfurion Roots, the Tychus' lockdown grenades, and the ETC slide. Like, they have a very strong rotational comp. Whereas you're going to see USC suffer with that early game.
So still trying to get all the members here of Brawls Deep on into the lobby. There we are. Ask and I shall receive, I suppose, huh, Reaper? So if you had to give me a prediction based on this draft, based on these two teams, knowing what you know about them, what do you think? Who's going to end up walking away with this one?
If Brawls Deep can dig in and get to the late game, I think they got the better comp for sure. A lot more CC on their team, a lot more stuns, roots. But then again, on USC, they do have some strong damage potential there, and they do have the double healers. So, it's going to be interesting. Tassadar feeding Vala, helping her out a little bit, and like I said, they're going to be a little bit stronger later game as well. So it's going to be tough for both teams.
Yeah, they're going to have some really nice sustain on these shrine phases in these temples. It's gonna be interesting to see exactly how well they're able to do in those team fight situations. I think that in order for USC to stand a chance here, they're going to have to be hyper aggressive. Before that level 10, before that ultimate evolution comes into play. Essentially, you're fighting 4v5 in those situations. The hat can obviously help out a little bit, but ultimately I don't think it makes that big a difference. Meanwhile, over on the side of Brawls Deep, I do think that they have to be a little bit careful, but one other thing that they really have to watch out here for is the idea of boss control. Tyrael on the other side with Sanctification and Holy Ground after 16. Bosses are usually a pretty big deal here on the side or on Sky Temple. So it can be a really big deal if late game they end up being able to steal one of those bosses from just that Tyrael zoning ability in that throw pit.
And I mean, do they choose to do so, or maybe they'll choose to take it at a better time, knowing that Tyrael on the other team will present himself with the opportunity of stealing that?
Yeah, they've got to be a little bit cautious of that, and but also, that does give a little bit of an advantage to USC. It gives them an opportunity to be able to force fights when maybe Brawls Deep doesn't want to. So we'll have to see if they try and utilize that here on Sky Temple.
And paired with the Tassadar walls, could be strong when used properly. So I think this will be a really good match.
Yeah, there's nothing like seeing a high-level Tassadar being able to put up those walls, trump it up, if you will. We'll have to see in terms of seeing those walls come up. All right, we are loading in here for game 1 of this Pro Division match, Brawls Deep versus USC. On the left, we do have Brawls Deep. Crunk Juice is going to be playing ETC. Specialty will be playing that beast-stepping Tychus. We will have FZ Ignition playing Alarak. Nailter is going to be playing Malfurion. And we are going to have, then the next Slash is going to be playing Abathur.
And the right side in red, USC. On Tom, we have Tyrael. Apocalypse, we have Li Ming. Soul Reaper will be on the Vala. In terms of, will be on Tassadar. And Zedalv will be on the Uther.
So right away, we do see USC going ahead and rotating to the mid lane there, maybe trying to scout out a little bit where Brawls Deep might be, but they rotate directly to that vision. They're going to get that for free. A little bit of a sight advantage there, but in terms of course, on Tassadar does have that passive. Nice juke there by Special T, being able to dodge all those abilities from Apocalypse as slowly starts raining in those missiles. Crunk Juice is going to go in really, really deep, though, on an Apocalypse. With that slide, they are able to get Apocalypse down to a very, very low health here, but he'll just be able to back out of that situation with his life intact. No first blood just yet, Reaper, but I feel it coming soon.
Both teams just kind of feeling themselves in the mid. I did like that play, the hat, the shields. They went in, they got aggressive, seeing if they could get a pick, see if they could get somebody out of bounds, but it just wasn't in their cards for that battle.
Yeah, but this is the experience of Brawls Deep, the confidence in the synergy between the team that we start seeing come out. But right away, we do see them turning as the side of USC does go in to get that vision, and Zeldave is actually gonna go down here. Uther is gonna cause that first blood as they tried to rotate in, and they did end up getting it. But I would say that's probably not worth Reaper.
No, Uther was in a bad position there. He should have been on the opposite side of Tyrael, but this is a big advantage for Brawls Deep, and they take an early lead, and you know this is gonna help them get to their 10 quicker.
Yeah, you would almost think that this is actually not a 4v5. The next Slash also having a nice day down there on Abathur against Tassadar, actually coming out from the walls, soaking that lane actively. You don't see a whole lot of Abathurs confident enough to actually come out from behind the structures, but the next Slash knows what's going on.
Well, it was a nice place by Brawls Deep, too, zoning out and taking shots off both temples, and he's just trying to hang in there, get as much shots as they can, and then they're probably just going to trade it out, and they're probably going to push top hard.
Yeah, not only that, but Special T got most of that down here and has a very, very big advantage in terms of how many temple shots have actually been used here. It is going to give Brawls Deep the option to try to invade if they want to. As soon as Nailter comes down, it does look like they're going to elect to do that. Crunk Juice slides in at a nice push there by FC Ignition, getting Tom out of position. At the very least, just being annoying to these guys, allowing Abathur more of an opportunity to split soak and soak those lanes. They go in deep in here on Tom in terms of also getting very, very low. Will have to invulnerable and shield himself to get out, and they successfully steal this temple 4v5.
Very solid play coming out. You had Li Ming in the bottom trying to pick up Abathur, but Abathur just stopped his walk, avoided both combo shots, and just walked on back out.
Yeah, the jukes are real. As we also see Special T going ham here. Just the aggression that we see here from the side of Brawls Deep, living up to their name, going in deep, getting advantages where they can, taking advantage of maybe a little bit of an early game weakness in the team fighting synergy of this comp from USC.
And they're playing their comp perfect, and they know the limits of their characters, and it truly shows in how they play right now. Like, they're just dodging, surviving, going in hard, and they're trying to take the lead early.
And the lead they've gotten by just a little bit here. Not a whole lot, but ultimately we are seeing at least some structure damage advantage for the side of Brawls Deep at this point. That top fort, definitely sneezable. We do see Specialty and Crunk Juice going to go ahead and rotate down and get that siege camp on the bottom. Going to help the next Slash be able to push back against in terms of down here in the bottom lane. And Crunk Juice positioning pretty aggressively, as is FC Ignition. These guys are looking for anybody that rotates out They know they've got at least one person in every lane. So at this point, they're just looking to scout. They're keeping tabs on where USC is and looking to catch anybody, even just a step out of place like Apocalypse there. You would think Li Ming would be safe back there, but not against Brawls Deep.
Yeah, and in the bottom, you had Tassadar overextended, and he had low health, and they knew that, but they didn't rotate down on it. You know he's very survivable. He can get out easily, but they didn't risk it. They're just going to take advantage on these top forts.
Yeah, they are going to go ahead and take the top fort. FC Ignition also pushing into the mid. Vala actually goes down in that top lane. Again, the aggression and the rotational awareness here from Brawls Deep, realizing that that fort was low. They had the ability to rotate out if things went sideways, but they do definitely rotate out and get it. Special T also going to do a nice job in this top lane of taking out this camp before it can push through the other side and get any value, knowing that Vala is not going to be here for a while. They go in terms of, and they've got him completely body blocked in the corner. He's not going to be able to get out of that situation. That's going to be another kill here for the side of Brawls Deep.
Yeah, and that was perfect body blocking by the team, and then they put him in the corner. He had nowhere to go, so solid play by Brawls Deep by picking off Das.
Brawls Deep putting Baby in the corner there and making him take a nap back in the Hall of Storms, and they're going to be able to completely dominate in this bottom lane, getting every single one of these shots as they leave Malfurion there to collect that. Level 10 is here. Nothing that USC can do to contest this one.
And we're going to be seeing Stage Dive picking up on the ETC. Alarak's going to pick up the Deadly Charge. Commandeer Odin on Tychus. Ultimate Evolution on Abathur, and Twilight Dream on Malfurion.
Stage Dive comes in from Crunk Juice. The hyper aggression still in effect here, and Brawls Deep is trying to get out of the Nexus as quick as possible in this one, I think, Reaper. And they go ahead and use that Ultimate Evolution to also push in that mid lane. They are going to be able to get the third and final fort down of USC, and this is starting to be a bit of a steamroll job here if you're USC. You're looking to try and do something to turn this around, but you need level 10 bad.
And Brawls Deep are going to rotate down. They're going to try to take this boss as quick as they can be. If you notice, Alarak, he took Deadly Charge. He's not worried about CC early game. He's going to go in and he's going to try to get value off that. But it looks like they're going to take this boss uncontested. Yeah,
level 10 still not here for the side of USC. And if I'm USC right now, I'm not very confident in my ability to take a fight against Brawls Deep on that boss, especially without the use of level 10s. Deadly Charge comes in. They go right after Soul Reaper and take him down. Twilight Dream coming into Silence too, and we're also going to see Tassadar and Li Ming going down. Zeldave is able to get out of that situation. Tyrael in the top lane, not around for that fight, but yet again, the aggression comes out and pays off in a big, big way here for Brawls Deep.
And with the way they're playing, if they push him with this boss, they're definitely taking a keep, but are they going to go for more kills and possibly take an early game?
I don't see why not. Nothing to worry about so far in this match. The stage dive, almost just like a zoning stage dive there from Crunk Juice, just trying to keep the members of USC from pushing in. They are going to go ahead and settle for the keep, but that is an 8-minute keep here, Reaper. This is getting a little bit out of hand.
And it was perfect timing on the boss. They got the keep. Now they're just going out. They know there's 2 temples up. It looks like Abathur might be rotating on one.
And the next slash is indeed.
Look how confident he is. He knows he can grab those shots. He's just going to safe play that. You're going to have Alarak in the bottom. But you got the whole team of USC rotating bottom, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do here with Malfurion being in the mid lane.
Yeah, FC Ignition is going to get scouted out here in the bottom, that he is alone. The rotation comes in from the side of USC. They do try and get him stunned out here, but they do turn on Vala. The Divine Shield comes out to save Soul Reaper for the moment, but the charge back in by FC Ignition. He's low, but he's coming in anyway. Special T also in the back, trying to do what he can to knock everybody down with that Odin, and it is going to be successful. Soul Reaper so low in the back is not going to be able to get out of this situation, and that is going to be yet again... Yeah, it is going to be yet again another 4 for 0 exchange. They had that strong rotation on FC Ignition, but they weren't able to get the finishing power here. They just weren't able to wrap him up. Too many levels, too many talents down, and I just don't think that they have anything for them right now.
Not having the stuns or anything too was big. They split the team there, and if you looked at Ignition, it was almost like a bait in. He force pushed himself out of the fight and didn't get the pick. He actually went over Vala's Rain of Vengeance. Solid play by him. Deadly charge back in, split the team, and it was a great, solid team fight by them.
Yeah, meanwhile, you just see the aggression from Brawls Deep. This is the example that you can set, that you can look to. When a team is ahead, they've got 2 camps on the left side that they can be taking here, Reaper. But what do when they've got 2 talent advantages? They go in deep on the other side of the map, and they go right after the opponents. They don't even care about finishing off this bruiser camp. They're going to go in, they're going to get more kills, they're going to snowball further, they're going to go down this mid lane, and they're probably going to end the game right here, right now. It's a beautiful thing.
Play by them. They've got the lanes pushed, they got the vision of the map, and Li Ming is blown up at the core, and it looks like this is going to be a 11-minute game for Brawls Deep, taking the first game in the series. But, I mean, they own the map. They took advantage. They kept them pushed right back, so they couldn't get an advantage back. And this is a solid win by Brawls Deep, and this showing why they do not get beat.
Yeah, they are putting on a clinic here in Chair League play, as they are going to actually, the first kill of the game, going to go over there on ETC with all of the shenanigans of not going after the core. But Nailter looks like he's going to go ahead and just finish it off himself. But that is game 1, going over to Brawls Deep here on Sky Temple. This was USC's map choice. Game 2's map choice is going to go over to Brawls Deep. And, Trump talked about the dream of a more beautiful America. Well, here's the dream of a beautiful game in the Nexus for Brawls Deep, showing us exactly how it's done.
And I mean, solid play by them. They played their team comp well, and it looked like they were just having fun out there. You know what I mean? They were dominant. They did what they like to do, and, they showed up for tonight, and they're trying to get in the other team's head. They're looking for that top spot yet again.
Yeah, and I don't know how you go against that when they're just constantly bearing down on you. They're constantly beating you up 4v5, and you're right. I think there was just a lack of CC over on the side of USC, and you see right off the bat it was that Muradin ban, it was that Brightwing ban, making sure that the auxiliary heroes had no opportunity to get any kind of CC out. And yeah, just in general, they did a great job of just owning the concept of CC in this match. They took it all for themselves, and they were very greedy about it, and it showed there in that aggressive play.
Well, they knew it too. They knew they could go in to be aggressive, and it showed, and they played it well. It was exciting to see such dominance from a team this amazing.
Alright, so we're going to look to see what map here Brawls Deep wants to go ahead and show us for Game 2. Looks like we are going to go to Infernal Shrines for Game number 2. One of my favorite maps here in Heroes of the Storm. And just in general, it's a very, very popular map. I think a lot of that has to do with the predictability of the map objective. When you look at how the Punishers work, they're very predictable. Most teams enjoy to play that kind of style where they know exactly what they're going to get out of the map.
And with how aggressive Brawls Deep was playing, I wouldn't put it past them to be picking up Kerrigan on this map. Very strong hero.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they go ahead and decide what they want to ban. Do they want to go ahead and, or I should say what USC wants to ban. The nice thing is they don't have the map pick here, but they do have first pick, first ban, so they are going to be able to have a little bit of an advantage in running the draft here for this next match. So I would expect maybe a couple of respect bans, maybe looking to get a little bit more of a monopolization on the CC game. And, we'll have to see how they decide to adjust here. Heroes of the Storm in these best out of 3 series, you can't let yourself get down in those situations. You have to have the ability and the fortitude to come back, to play the next game, and to make those adjustments.
And I find sometimes when you get beat that first game, it's easier to come back in the second. You know what the other team wants. You know how they play, and you got to look forward to countering that a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there was plenty of opportunity for USC to learn about plenty about Brawls Deep in that first match. I think their brains are probably full with what Brawls Deep can do. So they got plenty of opportunity to look, to turn around, to counter the aggression, to maybe try and pick something that is a little bit better at punishing aggression than what they picked up there in that first match. And Infernal Shrines is a pretty different map. You still have a lot of the same map objectives in terms of fighting. It forces team fights, and I think that's a lot of the reason why Brawls Deep likes it here. It does indeed force those. But we'll have to see if USC has anything for them here in Game 2.
And that was well put, Jay. They do need something to punish the aggression. I was about to talk about that, and you took the words right out of my mouth. Perfectly said. I love it, and that's what they're going to need to do. They need to punish them when they come in deep like that. They can't just let them get it for free. They can't play the passive, knowing that this team is going to punish whenever the opportunity arises.
Yeah, the number of times that Vala just got completely dived and owned there in Game 1 was a little bit shocking to me, again, especially considering that they were down a hero. That was a 4v5 fight all the way to level 10, every single one of those team fights, and Brawls Deep would just walk into those temples and just take whatever they wanted, and it's a little bit surprising. So I think they're going to need to pick up a little bit more peel, a little bit more CC in the front line. Tyrael is a really, really good hero in a lot of ways, but he has no peel. He doesn't really have the ability to punish aggression. So we'll have to see if USC wants to pick up a hero or two on that front line that's a little bit better at that.
And I mean, with the big damage, Vala and Li Ming, and you need to enable them. And you can keep them alive as long as you want, but if you got nothing to keep bodies off of them, then they're just bait waiting to be thrown out there.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that's I would say that's really on point. They need to be able to enable those backliners, and that's exactly what we saw from the side of Brawls Deep. Specialty just had the ability to do whatever they wanted. Nailter also able to go in with FC Ignition to get those CC chains out, and it was just really, really rough for the side of USC. They just went in and did whatever they wanted. But we are going to see the Malfurion ban coming out here from USC to start this one. So they're looking at Nailter and saying, "I'm sorry, my friend, but we're not about that. Let's go ahead and do something else here for Game 2."
And I can't wait to check out this draft.
Yeah, but I should probably get you the link. Is that is that a hint, Reaper?
There was no hint. I was just throwing that out there that I'm so excited for this.
There we go. There's the OBS link. But I'll go ahead and give you a whisper of it just to make sure. And we got you in the lobby too. So that's all ships are a go here.
It's always a good night.
It's always a
good night with Jay.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. I'll say the same thing about you as soon as we're done with these, I'm sure. But
as long as he's not forgetting about me.
Yeah. Let's not forget about Reaper. Reaper's somebody that we want around for sure. Sylvanas, the ban out here from Brawls Deep. I think that's a very solid ban. She's just so good on any map that has big pushing potential. And like I said before, the Punisher is so predictable and so easy to counter as long as your towers are functioning. But Sylvanas, of course, always has something to say about that. And much like that first draft, we do see the side of USC picking up ETC as the first draft pick here. But Brawls Deep is going to go ahead and get a strong tank themselves in Muradin.
And I mean, ETC's got to watch out. And there's the Kerrigan. You kind of seen this coming now with the Muradin and Kerrigan follow-up. They are going to be a devastating combo to look out for. You got to watch your rotations on the side of USC because Brawls Deep are going Brawls Deep.
They are going deep with Kerrigan and Muradin, two very strong divers. And I'll tell you what, if I'm USC, I'm pretty much instantly picking Brightwing here for the concept of Emerald Wind. You need peel on the front line, the back line, maybe the damage dealers might need a little bit of peel. Everybody and anybody might need a little peel. And there's Brightwing right away. We know it's going to be Emerald Wind. I can see it already. And, you've mentioned it before. A really good counter to Kerrigan is that Sanctification from Tyrael. So do you think they might try and go with that again here?
And this would have been the better comp for it. Now they have an ETC. A Tyrael would be perfect to drop that Sank as soon as Kerrigan and Muradin come in. But, I mean, that's all play. You have to play to Kerrigan. If you're not dropping that Sank when need be, and, of course, they're going to pick up the Tyrael, they have no choice. They have to stop that big dive damage.
Yeah, they really, really have to put a lid on it here. But they do also have to play for 10. Reaper, you don't get Sanctification until level 10, so it can be a really rough road to level 10 with Tyrael. I feel like he's a good late game hero, but he struggles a little bit in the early game, and they may have to give up a couple of these shrines and be really patient before they're able to really go against Brawls Deep here. Mono e mono, and Gul'dan is going to be the ban out here from Brawls Deep. Very good wave clear hero, very, very strong in that back line. And USC going to ban out the Tychus, the possible counter to that double front line, and also a little bit of a respect ban coming out from that last match.
Yeah, well, they seen what he could do, see how he could rotate, and the big damage he can pull out. And Brawls Deep's going to pick up Vala, and you realize Kerrigan does fall off later games, so they're going to be looking to dominate like they did last game, pick up the early lead, and just dominate the late game. So we could possibly be seeing the Ariel picked up now. Good synergy with the Vala. Then the Aegis shield on the Kerrigan or Muradin, depending when they do dive in.
That's a good, strong call there, partner. We do see Ariel coming out. Good synergy with Vala. Good synergy with Kerrigan. Doesn't really matter who you have around to put that hat on. Very, very strong pickup here. And they will have one more damage dealer to pick up at the end of the draft, based on what they want. But Abathur could be another possible pick here. Infernal Shrines, another big 3-lane map where that can work. And can you imagine a world where Brawls Deep is coming at you with double Kerrigan? I don't want to.
That'd be ridiculous. And also the Ariel, for when Kerrigan jumps in and does get the Sank or dive, she can pop that Aegis and, take that damage away from Kerrigan.
Yeah.
The burst damage picked up on the side of USC, going with the Jaina, looking for the Frost Rings and the slow on the Kerrigan. So they're definitely trying to counter her, but I don't think they should put all their eggs in one basket on this Kerrigan pick, seeming how Brawls Deep still has one last pickup here, a flex pick.
And they are going to go with Illidan, so they're going to have a pretty strong front line, a pretty big dive potential themselves. So I think you're right. I think that was them not putting all of the eggs into that basket, but Zarya is going to be coming out, reporting for duty here in the Nexus for Brawls Deep. So that's going to be triple front lines on both sides, and man, it's going to be a head-to-head brawl here. And I don't know, the Illidan pick is pretty interesting. There's not really a hard counter over on the side of Brawls Deep for Illidan here, but I'm afraid for Jaina. That's the big thing that I'm afraid of here for USC, is while there is some peel from that ETC, from the possibility of Brightwing late game with that area after level 10 with that Emerald Wind, if Jaina gets jumped on, she's got no escapability, she's got no survivability before 20, and she can get absolutely wrecked.
And you can see Brawls Deep. They're bringing out the big Wombo, bringing in that Zarya. Probably pull them all in, pull them in for Kerrigan, Vala. It's just going to be an explosion disaster if Tyrael doesn't pop those Sanks in the proper positioning. I'm worried for Illidan. Really not the sustain you need for Illidan with the Brightwing not being able to stay and fight for so long, And Jaina Kerrigan definitely has her eyes set on you. I would be careful.
Yeah, they are going to have to be very careful, I think, pre-10. I think after level 10, they do have a chance when those ults come in, but they are going to be very, very ult dependent here. And if they are too far behind in level 10, if Brawls Deep starts to train, just starts to get that train rolling and get that lead, just wrecking like they did in that last game, it's gonna be a big win for Brawls Deep. I think that is definitely my prediction. It's hard to bet against them though, Reaper. It's hard to take those Vegas odds after seeing that last match.
And I agree with you as well. Like they're strong early game, and I think we're gonna see some huge wombos unless Tyrael has something else to say about it. This game I think is going to Brawls Deep.
All right, so we are loaded into the Nexus here. Game 2 is going to be on Infernal Shrines. On the left, we do have your undefeated Chair League champions, Brawls Deep. Specialty is going to be playing Zarya. The next slash on Kerrigan. Crunk Juice is going to be playing Muradin. Nailter on Ariel. And we are going to see FC Ignition on that Vala in that backline.
And on the right side, we have USC in the red. We have Tom on ETC. We have Soul Reaper playing the Illidan in terms of on the Jaina, Apocalypse on Tyrael, and Zed-Elv on Brightway.
So right away, they do get a nice pull-in on Tom. He is able to avoid those spikes at least to not get too CC'd in there, but they are going to have to back off here. Yet again, it's all Brawls Deep for that CC game early. They do have the more aggressive comp, but they are going in here. Is USC. They do focus Crunk Juice. They do have the damage out on him. The Dwarf Toss around the top, though, they are going to be able to turn around and counter with a lot of damage on Tom, and both of these tanks are going to have to walk away, or otherwise they're going to lose their lives as the 4v4 continues in the middle, and in terms of gets just one step out too far. Kerrigan gets that pull-in and combo, and she goes down for first blood, going over to Brawls Deep.
And a huge flex by both teams there, flexing their muscles, but Brawls Deep does come up on top with that Jaina pickup. I don't know if Muradin should have been the focus. They did try to get him. They were close, but I mean, that was ballsy of them having such a dive comp to play against, take a fight right off the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's still filling each other out with these combos. Soul Reaper going in deep is actually going to go back in to the next slash to avoid that combo, but ultimately is not going to be able to get out of that situation in the long haul. The next slash is going to go ahead and punish that along with FC Ignition. That Vala having such a good ability to punish when she's enabled in that back line. And we've already seen in terms of it could be a struggle here, at least pre-10, to be able to get out of those situations on Jaina without that mobility, but is coming in here to try and get some damage out. The next slash getting very, very low here, and that is going to be the first kill going over to USC for this match. A nice response, but they are going to lose Tyrael as FC Ignition turns around and gets that kill to make it a 1-for-1.
And I mean, I feel Illidan went in. He probably shouldn't have threw his 3 there, and I mean, you know, it was payment on both sides. They said, listen, you're going to take one of ours, we're going to take one of yours.
So right away, we do see both teams not super quick to rotate to this top shrine, prioritizing the soak, making sure they get level 4 over on the side of USC, and then some. And both teams rotating up. Tom a little bit slower on this rotation, so they don't have their tank here. They can't be too overly aggressive. They are getting poked down as the health bar is still extremely high on Brawls Deep as the poking game starts on this top shrine. Kerrigan, of course, the best in the game at clearing these camps. The next slash getting a ton of shields and a ton of those little creeps down. But we do see the engagement coming in. Crunk Juice comes in to get the stun out on Tom. Is going to be able to take him down. In terms of also on the run, is not going to be able to make it out of here. The next slash getting very, very low. Is going to try to jump to some of those minions to taunt around, giving Nader enough time to get him healed up. And that is going to be a 4-for-nothing exchange for the side of Brawls Deep as Apocalypse makes it out. But he's lonely. He's so lonely in that top lane right now, Reaper.
And the way they were playing, Jay, they were just zoning out different team members and just jumping on them and showing, like, we are dominant. This is what we're going to do to you if we catch you out of position.
Speaking of being caught out of position, yet another kill onto Jaina there. The aggression coming in with that Punisher dive in. And again, no mobility, no escapability, no survivability on Jaina. Really makes it a tough life for the Frost Mage. And right away we see the rotation and the aggression. They are looking for an even earlier keep than they got last game, Reaper, and that's saying something.
And John Cena, don't take crap from anybody. Jaina too far out of position, getting slammed down by the Punisher.
Yeah, and this time it's going to be Soul Reaper getting caught out a little bit too late. Tom sliding in to try and get some PO, but it's just not in time with the burst damage. And it does look like Brawls Deep is going to actually back off here, but not before they keep that front wall and a full 2-level lead at this point. Nobody's soaking side lanes. They are full defending, trying to make sure this keep doesn't go down before the 5-minute mark. And it just puts USC in another tough situation. They do slide in. They are trying to punish the overstaying here from Brawls Deep as Soul Reaper goes in deep, but he's going to end up paying for it with his life. That level lead just a little bit too ridiculous. Yet again, Jaina's going to fall here. Tom getting caught out, going in too far, and they're going to turn around and set their sights on the keep here as we cross the 5-minute mark.
And this is huge. Like, they are just playing their comp to a T. They know they have early game. They're taking advantage. USC is not respecting the early game of Brawls Deep, and they're taking a hard hit from this. Already 10-7. They've got their ultimates up. You're seeing Murden picking up Avatar, the Rain of Vengeance on the Vala, the Crystal Aegis on the Ariel, the Maelstrom on the Kerrigan, and Expulsion Zone on the Zarya. So definitely a blow-up comp here.
Yeah, they are going full ham for that blow-up comp, and why wouldn't you? You know, I mean, really, at this point, they're, like I said, they're looking to get out of the Nexus as soon as possible tonight and set their sights on next week. And Brawls Deep, maybe looking past USC at this point, just going ham in on them, and just the nice cleanse actually there by Zeldave is able to get Soul Reaper out of that position. But Jaina with that rotation in from the bottom is going to get punished. Also, they catch out Brightwing here. Zeldave going to get that peel from Tom. Is going to be able to get out for the moment. But Zarya almost gets that poke in over the wall. But we'll be able to walk away from that situation. Just one member down, but they're going to lose the mid fort over it.
And the positioning on Murden at that camp, he was finishing off the camp. He's seen Jaina come too far up on that fort, knowing they had minions and damage being taken. He come over and he got the pick on her. It was solid play by Murden, solid play by the team, going in, spreading out the damage, and dominating once again. And they're looking for another keep, it looks like.
Yeah, they're not even bothering sending anybody back to pick up that Punisher. They're going to go ahead and get the front wall here before that ever happens. Still looking for somebody to step out. Soul Reaper is going to actually go in on the back line. They are going to turn on him, though. The stuns come out, and he gets completely blown up. In terms of also in here very, very far, Zeldave trying to get that pre-cleanse out to give him an opportunity to get out, but Jaina too slow to retreat there. Tyrael also going to go down here, and they're just going to turn their sights directly on the keep. They're not even paying any attention to the fact that the Shrine's up in the back. 3 members down, that's a keep.
And I think what they're planning to do is now they got the Punisher going to the core. They are going to push to win this game early, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't take it.
Yeah, Nailter.
We could be seeing a 9-10 minute game here again.
Okay, so I don't want to give away any of Brawls Deep tactics here, but I think maybe the Ariel ban out was a calculated thing in that first game, because Ariel is a healer that you only truly get value out of if your team is offensive, if your team is attacking. And Reaper, when is Brawls Deep not attacking?
I don't know, but you're seeing 42k coming out on the side of Ariel here by Nailter, and the team commits, he commits, and a very solid play by the healer. He's keeping him in this. Huge.
Yeah, still level 10s, not quite here for USC, as this Archaean Punisher is coming barreling down the mid lane. They are going to attempt to taunt it to this bottom keep, it looks like, but look at the zoning from Brawls Deep. They're familiar with this tactic, and they're not going to let that Punisher go anywhere but the core. It goes directly to the mid, and I just don't know if there's a way here. Wait, where?
They stand a chance. They need to fight now. They see the stage dive. The same things are getting hectic on the core, Jim.
And right away, we do see all the ults coming out, but it's just a little bit too much at this point. They do a nice job of getting onto special T, so many members so low, but Ariel healing is enough to keep them all alive in the middle of that push and attack. The Punisher is going to go ahead and get in. Even does a little bit of a jump back.
The Punisher is celebrating. He is pounding his chest. He is banging that war drum, ladies and gentlemen, for they have taken the game before the 10-minute mark. They got their 13. They're like, this is ours. We're number one. We're coming back to take it.
Brawls Deep. I think the Punisher was just happy to be a part of that one.
Oh, he was excited. He was pounding his war drums, man. He was ready to go. He's like, let's do another one. Let's go.
Let's do it again. Brawls Deep going to take the win here. Big win here. 2 games in a row. Just amazing. Just amazing performance from them. This is the team that you look to see exactly how you play aggressive HOTS, and just ridiculous. I don't really have any other words for it. I'm a little bit at loss for words at how good this team appears to be and how just polished they are.
And I mean, if you're just starting out and you're looking to want to get more competitive, this is definitely a team you could look at and take value out of. You got Vala in 9 minutes putting out 50k damage, but also enabled by Ariel, who's putting out 46k healing. Talking about the Kerrigan picks, Murrin on point, looking for those picks, and Zarya. Oh, it was amazing to see, and they just dominated, steamrolled. And I mean, USC, good game to you guys. Just no respect for the early game after seeing what came out on Sky Temple, and I think they should have respected a little bit more.
Yeah, they picked a pretty aggressive comp themselves, hoping to be able to get in there deep, get a little bit more CC on that front line, but still not enough. Still between Illidan and Tyrael, just not a whole lot of CC to be able to stop the aggression and punish the deep dive-ins here from Brawls Deep. You do have a little bit on that back line with Brightwing, but can't really follow up that well, and at least stop anybody, keep them in place long enough for Jaina to be able to get that damage out. And like I said, a rough game for the Frost Mage with the lack of mobility and the lack of survivability. She's a very niche hero, and you just have to play it super safe. I don't know if there's a safe place other than the Hall of Storms from Brawls Deep, though, Reaper.
Oh, such a solid team. Always fun to watch. Now you see 21-1 kills. Do you think they're going to get rid of the next Smash for feeding? Like that one death, very huge feed on this.
I know, that's a little bit ridiculous here, Had a good first game on Abathur, but on that Kerrigan, one death, that's I don't know if that's Brawls Deep material. But we thank you very much for joining us, guys. That is going to be it for us this week for Chair League. We still got another match over on the other channel in Division 2, so I hope you guys hop on over to enjoy that one as well. And we will see you guys next week. It is going to be top 4 matches here in every division for Chair League. Also next Saturday, it is going to be Championship Saturday on the 19th. We're going to have all 4 of those Championship Division matches, which I really look forward to watching. And maybe casting if Super Jove is out there somewhere. But I guess we'll have to see how that works out. And we will see you guys next time. Reaper, thank you so much for joining me, as always.
Love it, Jay. And, if I get a chance, I'll be right back here at the table casting with you. So thanks a lot for having me along on this great ride. And thanks for Brawls Deep and USC. Very solid matches by Brawls Deep tonight. Such a great team.
Absolutely amazing. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. Have a good night.